Support for the Couples Council comes from Mercier Wellness and Consulting. Their purpose is to equip you with the right skills for a happy and healthy relationship. Schedule your consultations now. For more information, visit mercierwellness.com. Mercier Wellness and Consulting. Small steps, big changes.
This podcast is not a substitute for therapy. Please consult a licensed professional for your mental health needs. Now on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Couples Council. I'm your host, Dr. Jameson Mercier. And today, on this episode, we are continuing our conversation with fathers. It's not a new conversation. We actually, like we did last time, we're digging through the archives and pulling out some goodies and some oldies. And, you know, the thing about talking to people and picking their brains about their experiences, the information doesn't expire. All right. And so if this is the first time, if this is the first episode that you're catching, you want to go to the previous episode and listen to our blended father conversation with Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry had a lot to share. A lot of relevant information. And it's even more, more relevant for young fathers. All right. Because generally the kind of wisdom is reserved for older fathers. But these guys that we're talking to are some young cats, and they have a lot of good information to share. The reason we're doing this is in honor of Father's Day month. Yes, you heard that correct. Here at the Couples Council, we celebrate not just Father's Day, but Father's Day month. And so to keep that conversation going, you're going to hear a conversation with a special brother by the name of Ackimo Charles. Now, professionally, he's an administrator. You know, he works in the school district. He works with kids, teenagers specifically. And maybe that's why he was such a good fit for this. In this conversation, you'll hear him talk about his experience with kids and helping family members with their kids. And yet, when the time came for him to be a father, there were some surprises. You know, we can all attest to the surprises of fatherhood. And while we may sometimes think and feel like we're the only ones, I'm constantly reminded that as special as I may be, as special as you are, your experience, my experience of this thing called fatherhood, this dad life, there are many, many similarities. All right. So big ups to you, Dad, as you try to, do the best that you can. I salute you. I commend you. And I also salute and commend these guys for coming on the podcast and sharing their experience. So I'm not going to blab anymore. I'm just going to let the tape roll and let you listen to the story, the experiences of Mr. Ackimo Charles.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mercier, and in honor of Father's Day, we're profiling fathers, but not just any fathers, black fathers. Popular opinion would have you believe that black fathers are not involved, absent, don't really care. But I'll be one to tell you that's completely false. And I'm going to prove it to you. Joining me is Ackimo Charles. How are you?
Great to meet you.
So, you're a dad.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, my family is pretty new, pretty young. My daughter is 2, and I have another one on the way. Daughter, of course.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be surrounded by women.
That's okay. That is okay. When does she due?
July 17th.
Like next month?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you've been a father now 2 years?
Correct.
Okay. When you first learned you were going to be a dad, tell me about that time and what that was like.
That was a bit challenging for me. You know, in most cases, I've assisted my family members by raising their kids, so they can finish school or whatever the case is. But when it came to my own, I think everything that I've ever thought flashed before my mind. I mean,
wow, that's a lot.
From my entire upbringing to where I was and how my dynamics would change. It's no longer you can have a child with you for a couple hours and then drop them off.
No, yeah.
It was, this is mine, every day, all day.
Okay. So you talk about families' kids who you had helped. So these were older kids, younger kids?
Right now they range in the ages of 4 all the way to 13.
Okay. So, but the babies would be new to you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you talk specifically about any of the concerns that you had about becoming a dad?
I think my biggest concern was, am I going to do it right?
Okay.
In most cases, you know, you think you're doing what's best for your child, but then you look at what's happening in society and you wonder, where did that person go wrong? And I think that's what most parents wonder. You know, I raised you from birth, and I've seen you grow up. I've nurtured you. I've given you everything that you could possibly need,
right,
and sometimes want. And then at the end, you turn out to be something that, in my opinion, I didn't raise. So in my mind, I was like, I hope I'm doing this right. I hope I produce a product that's acceptable and somebody who's willing to give back to society. Okay.
So you were worried about that?
Yes. Still am a little bit.
A little bit. Okay. But you have a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, and so you've learned some things along the way.
Well, I'm still learning, and
still learning
because you know, most times they say, "Oh, she runs the house." She somewhat does. She has a very strong mind, and I hope that she doesn't become that person who doesn't listen to criticism or even to any kind of critique of her, anything that she does. Because right now it's to the point where she tells me what to do. And I know it sounds funny, but I tell her, let's go to sleep. And she's like, if I'm going to sleep, we're all going to sleep.
Wow. So, yeah, okay.
Kind of a bully.
That's all right. And so now you have a baby on the way.
Yes.
Think back to when you first learned you were going to be a dad the first time. Do you feel the same? Are they any different?
I think now it's a little more relaxed. The training wheels are off. So I have a better understanding of the first week, the first night, the first couple months. So I kind of have that in my mind already pressing play to make certain that some of the things that I may have made a mistake or didn't think I did right, I can improve on. I got a second chance in a sense.
Okay. And so with your children, your daughters, so your wife was there, she helped you.
Right.
Did you have any other kind of support?
Well, island family. So
island family, okay.
Everybody has that, well, do it this way, feed them this. We used to do this, we used to do that. So we did have a lot of support from family members.
Was that the women or the men?
Oh, mostly the women.
The women.
The women.
Okay.
The women.
All right. And so tell me a little bit more about their interaction with you. Were they supportive of you? How involved were you?
The women?
Were they supportive of you being involved, or were they like, you need to go to work, this is mom's job? Tell me about that.
They're very supportive. As a matter of fact, for the first, I guess you could say, year and a half of my child's life, my mom took care of her.
Okay.
So it was more of them saying, what do you guys need us to do to help you guys be better parents? So a lot of the women, my aunt, she chipped in where she could. My grandmother put in where she could. My mom did a bulk of the work. And my wife's mom, she doesn't live in Broward County, but she traveled almost every other weekend to even participate. So they all were very supportive of me and of us in a sense.
Okay. Yeah, you guys had a whole village.
Oh yeah, definitely, still do.
Yeah, you may need them. So it sounds like you've built more confidence since becoming a father. You say you're much more relaxed. Any other lessons you've learned in being a father these last couple years?
The biggest lesson I would say is to definitely don't stress out about something. As long as the child is still breathing, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
There were days where I was just like, oh my goodness, I forgot to do this, or I didn't give her medicine, or I was late. And in your mind, you're wanting to make sure you do everything right. But you realize some things you can't control, some things you can't change. Situations happen. Don't stress out.
Okay. Did you have any other dads that you turned to?
Well, my father-in-law, he the first couple months, he was afraid to even hold a baby.
Wow.
He'll break her.
Oh boy.
But he was there. He always, anything you guys need, let me know. My brother-in-law, he has several kids. So for him, whenever we called him, hey, we need a break, he was there. He would take the baby. My sister-in-law just be sitting there looking like, can I hold my niece? So, he's very involved, not only in my daughter's life, but in his kid's life.
Okay.
And then my uncles, they all have kids, but for them, it was more of support as far as monetarily or just emotional. They would give me advice, but they won't. I can't leave my daughter with them.
Okay. The caring, okay.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay. Sounds like they're more old school.
Very old school. Yeah.
Okay. But they were there for you, though, it sounds like.
Yes.
In their own way.
Yes.
Now, you have 2 girls and you're raising 2, or you're going to have 2 girls. What is it that you hope they get from you?
How to be treated by a man. I definitely want them to understand that some of the characters that they may see on television or they may see on social media, because growing up we didn't have social media.
Right.
Now I see some things and I'm like, I'm glad that I'm in my child's life because I don't want her to be that person. So I'm hoping that they see how they should be treated, that how I treat their mom, and how they should act in public. We all know, we've seen pictures and etc.
Yeah.
Some things you need to make sure your daughters don't do.
Oh, I know. In some ways, it's more difficult for them than it was for us. This whole social media thing.
I certainly think so. To be honest, because I work in the school system, a lot of the issues that we have, a lot of the fights, a lot of the just any really hard issue to deal with, we as a group didn't have to deal with it. Ours was passing notes.
Right.
But now it's so widespread, something can happen in an instant, and it's videotaped or spread mass through to text or whatever the case is.
The whole school will know.
Exactly, and I think it's more pressure on this generation to be able to navigate those challenges as they go through their day.
So then in that sense, you being there for your children, even just for that'll go a long way.
Yeah, it definitely, I think it helps on their social emotional being, to help them to understand that, sometimes people are going to say things and do things, but you just have to carry on. You have to prove that it's not what they're saying.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your experience growing up with your father, the kind of what you got or didn't get, because you talk as if you learned a lot from somebody somewhere.
Ironically, I didn't grow up with my dad.
Okay.
My dad I didn't meet my dad until 16.
Okay.
And even then, even now, it's still, not as close as it would be with somebody who grew up with their dad. I was basically raised by my grandfather, and my uncles were around, but they all had their own families or went off to college. So everything that I've seen came from my grandfather or, my sister's dad. And it wasn't as if they were the ones that went to college, because none of them did.
Okay.
It was more of, this is how you slaughter a bull. This is how you garden. This is how you bake. This is how you do little things. I help them to build homes or whatever the case, more hands-on.
Yeah.
Many of my uncles, shade tree mechanics. They work with their hands well.
Okay.
I took a different route. I went to school and I went to college. So, most of the things that I've learned that came when it came to manual labor came from them. Academics, I don't know.
Well, something must have happened.
Something happened.
Yeah. Okay. So, can I assume that you see the necessity in being in your kids' lives based on your upbringing?
Definitely. Even now with my daughter, like I said, she's strong-minded. Last night I was fixing something in the bathroom and she's like, oh, let me fix it, Daddy. And she's, trying to help me fix it. But this isn't the first time she's done something like that. I know today there are many women that would wait around for a man to do something for them, especially if they live alone. So I think me being there and just showing them little bits and pieces will make them well-rounded. They have their mom showing them the female domesticated, not to use the word domesticated, but female chores in a sense. And then they have me who's showing them another side. So together, I think they'll be well-rounded.
And so if you could give any advice to new fathers, or even fathers in general, what might you tell them?
Spend time with their kids. It doesn't matter how long. It could be 2 minutes a day. It could be an hour. That little bit of time means a world to them, especially when they read with them. Many times my baby will just pick up a book and she'll be like, let's read, Daddy, let's read, Daddy. And I can make up words, but she's happy.
They don't care.
Right,
yeah.
She's excited. One of the things that we do, we go around the house, we sing. So now she has her own little microphone, or she takes the little things that you get out of the paper towels, the little rolls.
Oh, the rolls.
And she wants to make a mic, then she wants to put it in my mouth. But those are the little memories that she'll remember as she grows up. And those are the little things that make them happy. So any little time that you spend with your child,
time.
It's worth it.
Yeah, time. Well, there you have it. I'm Dr. Mercier, and we've been talking to Ackimo Charles, a black father, an involved father in his daughter's life, soon to be second daughter, soon to be 2 girls. Y'all pray for him. Dads, keep up the good work. Ackimo, good talking to you.
Good talking to you too. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Mr. Ackimo Charles. A couple things that he said in his interview, I just want to recap. The social emotional piece of parenting or kids, or that they need. I worked in the school district some, and there's a big push when it comes to the social emotional learning of kids. You needed both. And I'm not going to spend any time talking about that here, but I would encourage you to do some reading up on that. Don't ignore it when you see it, especially for kids who are in school, because that kind of learning, that kind of development, right? Social emotional learning goes a long way. And then Ackimo didn't meet his father till he was 16. You can just imagine the needs of a teenage boy at that. Okay, we talk about this all the time. I met my father when I was 7, and then he died when I was 9. So growing up without a father, the impact that has on a boy, on a man, and then a future father, okay? But similarly, he also had surrogate fathers and other people who stepped into that gap and filled that gap for him. And this is where I'm going to leave you. You don't have to be a biological father to be a father figure. Okay, Father's Day is for you as well. Father's Day month is for you as well. All right, we thank Mr. Ackimo for sharing his story, and I want to encourage him, continue to encourage him, and continue to encourage you guys as well. If you have a father in your life, if you are a father, sometimes it's a thankless job. If you have a father in your life, thank him, thank them. All right. Thank you guys for being here with us as we dug into the archives a little bit. We're going to continue this series through the end of the month, so be sure to come back. And when you do, don't keep it to yourselves. Share it with a friend, pass it on, drop it in their DMs, forward them an email. Tell them what we're doing over here so that they can come and hang out with us. Thank you all, and I look forward to having you join me next time for another episode of the Couples Council. Bye now.
Hey everybody! Thank you for listening to our mom and dad. If you like them as much as we do, then click subscribe and leave a comment. but now they have to go because it's family time.
So go practice what you heard, and we'll catch you on the next episode.